Hey everybody, welcome to the bench number 29. Hey, when people ask me about retirement, I generally tell them two things. Try not to owe anybody anything you can't pay off right now if you had to, and there's no manual for it. You have to make it up as you go along. I'd also suggest a hobby. Lately, I've added the idea that metals are a great hobby, and I don't just mean diecast, but that's a different video. What I do week in and week out is probably the convergence of three hobbies, actually. First, of course, is what I do on the screen. I try to make my project the rock star of this hobby, but sometimes I watch them and think, Jesus, look at my hands. People must think I'm a slob. I'm a working man. I was always a working man. The second hobby, of course, is the capture of it all. Hopefully a quality capture, which includes photographs and video. This is an art that I have been practicing since I was in the 7th grade and made a darkroom under my parents' basement steps. The first time I saw silver bromide emulsion become a negative image, I was hooked. And I'll wager some of my audience will not know what I meant by that. Lastly, the technology to create what you see, literally from motherboard to mouse. I build my own computers and have for years. I've sold many. I taught myself HTML by reading about it on the internet. I wrote my own web pages until I learned that the First Amendment was actually conditional. I also made a ton of money because I learned to use Google before most people, long before Google itself messed itself up. My favorite saying was that hardware was easy and software was hard. There's a lot that goes into it. The software I use is called Movavi. It has pluses and minuses, but if you've ever done this kind of work on any software, you've seen something just like this. I thought maybe I'd give you a little sneak peek what I do behind the scenes. So I figured I'd use that video I did earlier in the week with that Volkswagen. This is the interface for Movavi, and the video that I did was 7 minutes and 30 seconds long, and probably took me between 4 and 5 hours to make. I didn't time it, but that's typical for that length of a video. It's comprised of 67 separate scenes that, I edited out, including intros and, exits that are a little bit more complicated than just moving from scene to scene, so they take a little bit more time. I also had 7 text overlays, and each of those is an operation. And in addition, there were 16 sound clips. And all in, there's about 200 operations, maybe a little bit more, to put something like this together. The data consists of 40 files, is over an hour of video, and then about 14 gigabytes of data all in. And like I said, it takes me somewhere between 4 and 5 hours to put something like this together. So coming up in April, I'm going to do a series of panel vehicles, 2 of which I got from Brian Free after he pilfered the real riders from him. Arg! He's a pirate. Anyway, I'm going to end the series with a remake of this Ford Anglia that I did a while back that has always bothered me. I'm going to do some red lines in May, including this Beach Bomb kit I purchased online, and that's going on the 18th, Redline Day. I also have a project for which I need a larger than normal red line. I designed this, but I have yet to print it. I have my fingers crossed. Reminder, Bone Shaker 3 is coming up, so send me a glamour shot if you want in. I'll be shaking everybody else's bones on the 19th when I do my own Bone Shaker video. And there's going to be fabulous prizes awarded too. Basically, I'm just giving you guys my last 3 months of YouTube revenue instead of my normal Mick benefactor. In case you're wondering, the Hulk was me practicing dry brushing, which I will be using in an upcoming project. You could see the resin didn't fill properly on the one, but it makes for good practice, and I actually tried some layering with a little bit larger Hulk. Pop over to my community page in the next day or so. I'll put a poll up. You can tell me which one you like better and why. I like the occasional B-movie, and one of my favorites is the Eddie and the Cruiser series. In the second movie, Hilton Overstreet, the sax player, tells Eddie that music has to have an audience to work. It was one of those oft-forgotten exchanges that, when you examine it closely, kind of reveals the whole point of the movie. I want to say thanks to everyone who takes the time to make this work for me. This is Time Rider, and I'll leave the light on for you.